Hello there. Hello to Lydia and Andrew, the Chair and Vice Chair of the IOSH Education Group. Thank you for joining us to provide valuable insight about the education industry. This quick-fire interview is for those who are just starting out in their safety and health careers or who may be looking for a career change. My name's Adam and I'm a member of the IOSH Future Leaders Steering Group community. We will now ask some questions to provide this insight. So question one, and I'll do this to Lydia. What does the education group do and how do you support health and safety professionals in the sector?
So the education group consists of 8 volunteers from a range of professions throughout all sectors of education, from early years to universities. We come together on a regular basis to discuss current issues relating to education and how we can support the sector. We then create a plan consisting of communication, resources and events to assist the OSH professionals. We also represent the sector and its professionals within IOSH, responding to media inquiries, generating content, and we draw on the practice and support of others IOSH groups as well. Our aim is to share our own learning in our sectors, as well as utilise the specialists in various areas and be able to point professionals in the right direction. It's also really important for us to create a community of OSH professionals in the education sector so we can talk through issues and ideas can be shared across the sector.
Thanks so much, Lydia. That was a great introduction to what the group does. What would be a good starting point for someone who's looking to enter the education sector? Andy?
Yeah, thank you very much, Adam. So a lot of your skills as a health and safety professional are transferable to the education sector. A good starting point could be to become a school governor, for example, in a volunteer capacity, so that you get a good understanding of the issues that are managed within education. Other options are to work for a local authority. You may have a traded service or work for a multi-academy trust. Lots of the colleagues that we work with on a daily basis started out as administrators and progressed through to be school business professionals, as a large part of that role also involves health and safety.
Oh, that's brilliant. So quite a few different entry routes, which is fantastic to hear. So the next question is, what are the advantages to being an OSH professional in the education sector?
So it's really rewarding being part of the education sector. We enable children to be exposed to a certain level of controlled risk to be able to learn. This is a really important part of childhood and learning. This can range from supporting the science department to use radioactive sources or to supporting a school on a trip to go skiing. The education sector is a very close community feel. As well as being rewarding, you also feel part of a family, and it's really enjoyable to work with schools and educational settings. There's a real sense, regardless of where you work, with early years or primary school or further education, you really work together to benefit pupils and the local community to ensure that we're providing a great level of education and really ensuring that everyone experiences a great range of activities throughout all of those settings. It's really rewarding and it's really motivating that parents and carers entrust the safety of their children to schools on a daily basis. There is also the opportunity not only to ensure risks to pupils and staff are managed, but also to be part of ensuring that pupils are educated about managing risks themselves and have the opportunity to develop the competency, in a way being part of inspiring and developing the next phase of future leaders.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic to hear all of that. So now thinking about once you're in the career and in the education industry, what is a career progression available? And are there any specialisms to the industry?
Yeah, so there's a range of specialisms, and my role that I do in my day job involves one of those specialisms. So I specialise in outdoor and adventurous activities and educational visits. And there's other sort of really closely linked specialisms to the curriculum, such as PE, science, as well as those more general subjects such as building safety and asbestos management and the operational side of running schools. And education's a really interesting sector in that there's sort of so much going on. You need to walk onto any school site and see just how busy it is, which is really nice to be a part of. And there's lots of different employees as well. So you might work for a local authority or a multi-academy trust or an independent school, college or university. And then there's also lots and lots of private companies and organisations that supply services into the education sector as well. You may even be able to set up your own business doing so.
Oh, so it's a great opportunity once you're in, and also to continue in as well. It's fantastic. Yeah. So what are some of the health and safety challenges in the education sector, and how can we as future leaders or those new to the health and safety world support these?
So the main challenge is really getting the right balance by ensuring that individuals are exposed to those different experiences while ensuring they are safe. This means assessing situations and ensuring the right controls are in place. This means really speaking to the specialists within the education sector, such as teachers, to work together to find adequate controls to ensure children and young people are getting the best education possible. For example, the best person to write a risk assessment for a science experiment is the teachers and the science technicians, with the health and safety professionals working together to understand the reasoning for the controls and the procedures in place. Another challenge is the pressures in the education sector. Some schools, for example, where the head teachers have delegated responsibility for health and safety, may have passed this down to school business managers, who also lead on HR, finance, and various other areas. As health and safety professionals supporting these settings, it's really important to give them the tools and support that they need to ensure they are compliant. Pressures on staff resources, finances, and in some cases, aging infrastructure introduces additional hazards. And schools are asked to increasingly more with sometimes shrinking support services surrounding them. So I know for schools, for example, they're always asked to have more and more pupils every year, but their school doesn't get any bigger. There is a huge focus on mental health, well-being and safeguarding following the pandemic and the current economic situation. This demands competent professionals are there to support schools in their growing role. It's really great to get future leaders within the sector to be able to bring new ideas on how to give settings tools to manage health and safety, as well as improve the culture throughout all levels of these organisations.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. That was a great answer. And the last one. So what is next for the education group, and where is the sector going in the future, Andy?
Yeah, so due to sort of organic turnover, Lydia and I are both relatively new to the group, but also to the roles that we're in now, which is really exciting for us. And there's a range of new colleagues within the group as well. So that's exciting for us. We also need to hear from our members as well, and we'd definitely like to hear from them as to what they need from us in the future. We're currently working to ensure that we provide the right tools, forums to talk with other professionals, and CPD events. And so, for example, there was one today on science safety. And we're looking to also ensure that we have those moments to engage with the audience through our platforms such as LinkedIn and through regular meetings, so that we can take that feedback and take that forwards. And we're also working with other IOSH groups such as FIRE to enable us to provide joint events and to see how they set themselves up and how they operate, so that we can learn from those really well-developed groups that do a great job of reaching out to their sector. In terms of our sector, the education sector, is likely to continue to face financial and resource constraints against a backdrop of massive demand. And it will be important for OSH professionals to continue to support the education sector as they are doing, as it faces those pressures, and for professionals themselves to be dynamic and adapt and still remain competent and do things in innovative ways that support those that we are out there working to support.
Certainly got a lot of your hands and sort of a busy sort of an agenda there as well. So that's brilliant. Well, thank you both, Lydia and Andrew. That was really useful and full of great information to help those who are thinking about maybe joining the education industry, but also the education group. And we're sure it'll help inspire new OSH professionals as well.
Thank you. It's always great to help and encourage future leaders to learn more about the education industry. We encourage any further questions to be sent to network@iosh.com. And if there's any IOSH future leaders that would like to join the IOSH Education Group Committee, we please welcome them to our group. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much again.